The standard deviation is used to determine how far, on average, any data point within a set of numbers is away from the mean. So, for example, here we have a set of test scores, and so the first part in finding standard deviation is to find the average. So if I add these up together, those 10 terms add up to 660. So to divide by 10 tells me my average or my mean is 66. And there are 10 values that make this up. So as we go through this, if I were to look at each test score individually, I have a 22, 99, so the test scores are going to go across here. We'd go to 102 next. The next piece that we're going to do in finding this is we're going to find the difference from the mean. Now we just found that the average is 66, so X represents each value within the test score, and this X bar, that is your average. So for example, here with this first one, I would take 22 minus our average 66 and find that the difference that one is, we would have a negative 44. And here we would have 99 minus our average of 66 gives us a value of 33. Next one is 102 minus 66 gives us 36. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill in these next two columns on this table. So now I've gone through and I've filled in each of these test scores down this column, and now here we found the difference between each test score and the average down this column. And so now here in this next column we're going to find within each of those we have a difference of the mean here is negative 44, and we're going to square that value. And we're going to have our 33, and we're squaring that. Here is our 36, and I'm going to square that. So when we have our negative 44 and we square that, remember negative times a negative is positive, so that's 1,936. 33 squared, 1,089. 36 squared, that's 36 times 36 is 1,296. So now as I work my way down this column, I'm going to take each of these differences and I'm going to square those. Now that we have this column filled out and we've found the differences and we've squared each of those, the next step is we're going to find the sum of all of these values. So I'll take 1,936 plus 1,089 plus 1,296 all the way down the line, and we find that the sum of all of those values comes out to 8,338. Now, as far as finding the standard deviation, from that point what we're looking at is first we're going to take this summation, that's what this is talking about, is the summation of those differences squared, and we already have determined that that's 8,338, and we're going to divide by, now remember we said that there's 10 terms in here, and so as part of this we take our 10 minus 1, we're going to divide by 9. This value is 926.4, and that turns out that that's repeating. That is known as the variance. All right, so to find the variance, what you've done is you've taken the summation of those differences and divided by your n minus 1 value, and that is the variance. From there, to find the standard deviation, we're going to take the square root of that value. So here's my sum. I've divided by n minus 1. That gives us our 926.4 repeating. And then I'm going to take the square root of that value. And we have 30.4. That is our standard deviation. And what that means in this case is if you look at the average test score, they're actually quite a ways away from our average. What it's saying is that each data set on average is 30 points away from our mean of 66. And that is how you determine a standard deviation.